Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. How are you? Um, I'm glad that the sun's still out. I think it's supposed to start raining here soon, so I'm looking. Hi, Chesha. How are you? Hi, everybody. Hi, Jennifer. How you guys doing? It's so good to see you guys here. How is your Wednesday going? Hi, Debbie, Joe. Hi, Margaret. Hi. I am so excited for today's topic, y'all. I think it's so important. I don't know how many of you have been like following along in the content this week, but we're talking about like adapting your content, your message, the way you approach what you're doing and interacting, how you're interacting with your audience. We're talking about adapting it to meet your audience where they're at. And I think that that's so important, because the number one thing that is the most important with business, right? I always say this, and it's always a different thing. But this week, the number one thing that is the most important is attention. If you don't have people's attention, and if you can't keep people's attention, you're not going to have sales, right? You're not going to have a successful business. So I'm really excited to talk about how to do this and what it all means. And I loved all of your shares the other day about like the most aggressive sales tactics that you've ever encountered. I could not believe some of the stories. I don't know how many of you guys saw that post. Like, yes, type yes in the comments if you saw that post. But like those tactics that some people shared that they have been subject to by hungry and aggressive salespeople had me going, oh my God, like I couldn't believe it. Anyway, say hello when you're here. Let me know. I know some people hopped in. I don't know who's still here. Hi, Arena. Hi. So a question that I want to ask people who are hopping in or people who are joining is out of curiosity. So I kind of like can use some of this as an example. What's the last thing that you invested in? Like, what's the most recent thing? You don't have to give tons of details, but it could be like a trip or a coach or a retreat or a computer or so like what. And if you're watching on replay, go ahead and answer this too. Type in your answer. But what was the most recent thing that you invested in? I would love to know. Oh, Debbie's still here. Hello. Just out of curiosity, like most recent thing you invested in, because we're going to use some of these as like an example as we talk today. And I know there's a lag. I'm always so impatient at like waiting for the answers. I wish that it was instant. I wish I could see your answers instant. And I don't mean like I bought a sandwich, right? Like at lunch. I mean like invested, right? What's the last thing that you invested in? Who wants to share? Okay, so the last thing, hi Britt, the last thing that Arena invested in was marketing. Who else? Like, what was the last? It could be for business, it can be for personal. You don't have to like overthink it. I'm just gonna kind of like talk you through some stuff with it. But Arena, since you answered, I'm gonna use you as the guinea pig if that's okay. Like the person, like, can you give me just a little more information in terms of like what kind of marketing you invested in? Was it like SEO? Was it a marketing person? Was it a, go ahead and let me know that about the marketing. Debbie Joe got a promo item. Oh, that's really, really cool. What kind of company did you get the promo item from? Debbie Joe, I'd love to know who did you purchase the promo item from? And then Britt says coaching, the gym, right? Okay, Britt, let's use coaching as your example. Okay, so Debbie Joe, promo item, Arena, we're gonna go with the marketing, and Britt, we're gonna go with the coaching, okay? So you bought this from somebody, from some business, right? Were you already aware that this person or this company existed when you purchased? Or were you looking to purchase and you came across a company and immediately from whatever you found just purchased, right? So was there awareness that the company and the person existed, right? And then at some point you purchased? Or was it like you were searching and looking to purchase this thing and you found this person or this business and just clicked add to cart, right? For as much as you can just add a coach to cart or something like that. But like, how did it go? Was it like, which direction, right? Like, I already knew they existed. I already knew about them. I decided to buy. Or was it, no, I decided to buy. So then I went looking, found them and purchased right away. Just kind of curious which way it went. Okay, so Arena's like, I was aware of them. I trusted them. And I was ready to purchase, right? See, Debbie's like, I knew them. I saw what she had, right? I was already aware from past programs, right? I saw a lot of her stuff on Facebook. I like that for it. Ding, ding, where's my bell? Ding, 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 right? Okay, so thank you guys. Another question about that. Debbie Jo, when you met the person, right, from Quail Creek Promotions, at the very first time you ever met her, the very first time you met her or became aware of her company, did you need the promo item? Or did you even think about it? Was it even a thought on your mind that you needed the promo item? I would love to know. And then Britt, like the very first time that you saw this wonderful, amazing coach, were you already looking for a coach, or was that kind of like buried in the back of your mind, or maybe not even a thought? And Irina, same with you, right? This person, the company that you trusted, like when you first met the very first person in that company, or you first became aware of the company, like was that something that you already knew was a need, or did you not know until after you met them, right? So it's like, yeah. I'm gonna let you guys answer before I keep talking, right? But I'm curious. So like for Debbie Jo with the Quail Creek, and you said you met this woman, like at the time you ever very first met that woman or became aware of Quail Creek, were you already thinking I really need a promo item? Were you already searching for it? Oh, Debbie's leaving. Debbie's leaving. We're never gonna know. We're never gonna know. Okay, so Arena's like, she didn't even think of it, right? She didn't even think of it until she got to know them. So like, I'm asking these questions for a reason, right? Because they're paving what we're talking about. Like, so yeah, see, Britt says, I wasn't looking for another coach, right? So this kind of proves my point of what we're talking about. So thank you guys so much for answering, right? So what Britt said was, hey, like I stumbled upon this coach and like I was learning about them and watching her, but when I first stumbled upon the coach, like I didn't even think about getting a coach. It wasn't even a thought on my mind, right? And then Arena's like, yeah, look, I met this person and they owned a marketing company and I got to know them, and marketing wasn't even a thought on my mind until I got to know them, and then I bought the marketing, right? And I'm assuming Debbie Jo, I'm just gonna fill this in for Debbie Jo. I'm assuming Debbie Jo had the same trajectory. Can't talk today, guys. It's great. In hers, right? So there was some kind of like became aware, right? Over here, like became aware that a person and a company exists. And then somewhere over here is the purchase, right? That's what I want you guys to see and hold in your mind for what we're talking about today, because we're talking about your client's path to you. Okay, so people that are out there, their path to you to purchase your services or to purchase your products. And what we've been talking about all week, right, and all of the posts have been going up. When you're here, say hello. Let me know you've jumped in. I'm so excited about today. Hi, Rajika. What we've been talking about all week, right, is kind of like adapting your messaging, adapting, and I don't mean your core message, but like adapting your communication to meet people where they're at so that you can build some real relationships that can lead to sales, but also in the process, like give these people a really great experience. And I shared a story in one of my posts the other day that got like a lot of traction, right? So did you guys see the post about the type yes or no in the comments? Did you guys see a post about my furniture shopping and the mattress situation? Yes, no? I would love to know if you saw that post. And really, like, hi Ashley, really like the gist of the post was that kind of found a furniture store randomly, wasn't thinking about buying furniture, walked into the furniture store, started looking at some furniture. The salesperson was super aggressive and started acting like, okay, buy the mattress, like buy the mattress now, like this is the buy a mattress. But I didn't even know I needed a mattress yet, right? I just walked in to see what the store had. And how many of you have encountered like an aggressive salesperson like that, right? Me, say yes, right? Like if you've ever encountered an aggressive salesperson. So like there we were, right? Just kind of wondering what was up in the store. And we were like being met at every turn with like, get on the, like literally lay down on the mattress, right? I was like, what? Like, get on the mattress. I was like, I don't want to get on your mattress, lady. I want to get out of your store, right? So we left, right? But what that person was doing was treating every person that walked through the door of that store the same, right? And the way that she was treating them is if they were all ready to purchase immediately. Now, how many of you have seen businesses kind of do that same thing online, right? That they're treating everybody online, wherever they are, right, as if everyone that's seeing them is ready to purchase, meaning their posts and their content are about their programs, their products, their events, right? There's a very real call to action in the content that they're putting out saying, buy this, register for this, purchase this, right? And that seems to be like the only kind of content that they're putting out. How many of you have seen that online? Hi, Kim. How are you? How many of you have seen that online? Like I have, right? I've seen certain businesses that are very similar, like are treating their content and what they're doing online very similarly to the way that I explained about my furniture store experience, right? It's like, oh, hey, I'm having an event. Come to my event. Like, here's my event. I'm posting about my event. I'm talking all about my event. Or, hey, I'm selling this product, and here's my product, and I want you to buy my product. Or like, hey, here's my service that I offer, and I want you to buy my service, and here it is, right? And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with selling. You guys know this. Like, I'm a big fan of selling things, right? Like that's why I allow it in the Women's Business Garden when done, with integrity. Like I really do love sales. But the point I'm trying to make is everybody on the internet, right, isn't like in a stage where they're ready to buy. In fact, what you heard earlier, and if you weren't on earlier, I asked people what the most recent investment was that they made. And then I asked them, like, did they already know the company or the person before they purchased? And they said yes. And I said, well, when you met the company or person, were you already looking to purchase? And they were like, no, right? Meaning at the time that they became aware that a company or business existed, they didn't even know that they needed the thing that that company or business provided. Like they did not think they had a problem that needed that person or that product or that solution, right? And they didn't think that like that was something that they were going to be purchasing, right? It wasn't a thought on their mind. So here's a person becoming aware of a company, yet this person has no idea that they need what this company has, right? And they have no idea that they're having the problems that this company can solve, or that they will have the problems that this company can solve. Yet in our examples, every single person ended up purchasing ultimately from that company. Do you think that it would have been the same, that the same outcome would have happened if when these same people became aware, right, of the businesses that they mentioned, all that business did was say, hey, I have a thing, buy my thing. Hey, I have a thing and you need this thing because problems and pain points and challenges, right? Buy it. Like, how many of you think that the result would have been the same? Or how many of you think, right, that they would have done what I did in the furniture store and like get out, right? Like, do you guys see what I'm like saying? Like, I really want you to get this because I'm about to go on to the next stage, right? Which is like most people, when they become aware of you, your business, okay? Most people out there, right, once they become aware of you, and we're going to talk about how they become aware of you, but once they do, they usually are not thinking they need you, nor are they aware that they have a problem or the problem, or that they will have a problem that your product or solution will solve. Like, that's just not where their head is at yet, right? Yet I see so many people write those people off, right? Have you ever been guilty of it? Like, I would love to know. I would love to know, honestly, how many of you are like, man, they weren't ready to buy. Oh, well, right? Like, you're so focused on the sale. You're marketing to this for the sale. Like, you're trying to get a client, you're trying to get somebody to come to your event, you're trying to sell your product. Like, you're so focused on the sale and selling the thing, right, that when you encounter people who aren't ready for the thing, you're like, man, I keep attracting the wrong audience. How many of you have ever thought that? Like, when you have a call with somebody or you talk to somebody and they're like, oh, you know, I'm just not ready for this right now, or this isn't really what I'm looking for right now, or they don't get on the phone with you, right? So you've got maybe a Facebook page, or you've got a Facebook group like me, or you're going out networking, or you're getting people on the phone. So you're either not getting people to talk to you, or you are, but they're like, no thanks, right? Like, this sounds cool, but like, this isn't what I need, or like, not right now, maybe in the future, like whatever, right? How many of you then go, man, like another person that didn't buy, like I'm attracting the wrong people? Just type yes in the comments below if you've ever thought that, or you've ever said that, right? How many of you? I would love honesty, right? I get it, right? I get the frustration and I get the challenge, but like, so many people, right, are taking those people and writing them off and saying, oh, well, now I need to keep going out and trying to find the right audience. I need to keep going out and trying to find people who are ready to buy right now, right? I need to find those people. Where are those people at, right? And Ashley's like, look, it feels that way, right? I'm not great at retargeting yet. Rajika says, yes, she's done it before, right? So I see this all the time, which is like treating your audience as if they're all the same. And in this situation, it's like treating them all as if they're ready to buy right now. And if they don't say yes to you right then, that means they're not the right people. They're not the right audience. How many of you have ever said social media just doesn't work for me? Have any of you ever said that? Like, oh, well, I guess social media just doesn't work for me, right? Or how many of you have said, like, you know, like we said, right? Like, oh, I just keep attracting the wrong people. Why am I attracting the wrong people all the time, right? So people are like, yes, this is exactly how I feel. And that's what I want you to know, right? These people who you're meeting, it's not that they're the wrong people, and it's not that social media is not working for you. It's like the examples we gave at the beginning where Arena answered and Debbie Joe answered and Britt answered. And what they said was, hey, like, I met these people who owned this business, didn't even think I needed what this business had, wasn't even thinking about it, and then ultimately at some point, right, I bought from this business. If that business had just written Arena, Britt, and Debbie Joe off as not being like worthy of a relationship because they didn't need to buy from them that day right then, do you think that Debbie Joe, Arena, and Britt would have gone and purchased from these companies? No, right? They wouldn't have. So that's really important for you to be thinking about in terms of your own business. People are becoming aware of you all the time, but the majority of the people who become aware of you will not yet be ready to buy. That's just a fact. But that does not mean that they're not ever going to be ready to buy. And what happens is when you write those people off, right, you push them over here and you keep staying focused only on finding people who are ready to purchase from you right now, you're gonna keep hustling forever, right? You're gonna have that hustle and grind, worn down feeling with this, like, why is this so hard? Why do I always have to go out and find new people? Why is it that it feels like I'm all like, shouldn't this be easier? Shouldn't I have a pipeline right now? Like, what's going on? Well, you wrote your pipeline off. Your pipeline's over here because they weren't ready yet and they didn't even know that they needed you yet. but you're so focused on the sale that you're like, I have to just go find more people who are ready to buy right now. And then they buy and it's like, cool, but I don't have anybody in my world who's ready to buy right now. So I've got to go back out and I've got to find more people to buy. How many of you have ever felt like that? I would love to know in the comments, yes or no, that it feels like this constant churn and this constant effort to always have to go get new business because you feel like there isn't any waiting in the wings. How many of you have ever felt that? You feel like it's a constant churn to bring in money and to get new business because right after people buy and then you need more people to buy, there's not like an audience or a community that's kind of like really engaged with you and ready. You don't have a wait list and you don't have an engaged audience. So you're like, I have to, okay, so Ashley says yes and Rajika says yes, and it's exhausting. Am I right? Like it's exhausting. And here's why it's happening. Because you're not adapting to meet those first people we talked about, the people who are becoming aware of you, but don't yet even know they need you. They don't even have an idea that they even want what you have, right? Or that it's going to help with anything because they might not even know they have a problem yet, right? But they become aware of you because they meet you at a networking event, or they become aware of you because they catch a presentation you do. Maybe they're like in a group and they see a post you wrote and it caught their attention, but it's not your group, right? Maybe they did stumble into your group because it's about something bigger. Like people stumble in Women's Business Garden all the time, not because they're looking for a business coach. How many of you came in here going, I need to join Women's Business Garden because I'm looking for a business coach, right? No, like you're like, oh, cool, I want to meet other women in business. I want to have these conversations. I want to connect. I want to not feel alone, right? So these people are becoming aware of you usually, right? Usually people become aware of you through social media or a presentation of some kind. They meet you out at an event, they meet you out networking, or they see a presentation that you're giving, or they catch it, or they see a video or a tail end of a video you've done in some way because it's getting shared and it comes across their screen, right? Or somewhere on social media. Like they see a post that their friend shared that happened to be from you, or a quote that their friend shared and it happened to be from you, right? So you're coming across their radar, but they're not looking for you because they're not looking for what you have because they don't even know they need it and they don't even know they have a problem, or that they will have a problem one day that may need it. But they see you. They see you and they're interested enough. They're like, huh, wow, Arena shared that. I don't know that this is true of Arena. So don't go to her Instagram account and say, what are you talking about, Arena? But let's pretend my friend shared a quote from Arena. And I'd be like, wow. So I go to Arena's Instagram account. And I'm like, Arena has a really pretty motivational Instagram account, right? Like, it's great. All these motivational quotes and all these, I love it. I'm going to follow her, right? I'm following her for the inspiration. I'm following her for the quotes. I'm not even following her because of what she does, right? But that's the way that I become aware of you, and I'm curious and intrigued enough to find out more. So maybe if I'm networking with you, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's not something I need, right? Like I don't need branding photos, or that's not something I'm looking for or need. But like, I think it's really cool. I never even thought about it. Like, I think it's really cool. I'd love to keep in touch and just learn more, right? I'd love to be on your newsletter list, or hey, I'll follow you on your Facebook page. Maybe I don't even tell you that. I just think you're interesting enough, right? And I thought, how many of you have ever done that to other people? Like, you don't need what they have, but you meet them and you're like, that's kind of cool, or that's kind of interesting. So you like their business page, or you see a quote they shared and it's so pretty, and so you follow their Instagram account, or something comes across your screen or comes across you in person, and you're like, wow, for whatever reason that's completely unrelated to buying anything from that person, you end up following that person. How many of you have done that? You end up following that person even though the reasons that you started following them weren't because you needed somebody who does that thing, or because you needed that product. Yes? No, I have, right? I come across like neat things all the time, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I'm gonna follow that person. I'm gonna follow that Instagram account. I'm gonna follow that Twitter account. Okay, so people are doing that to you. People are meeting you, and people are going, huh, she's interesting. That sounds kind of cool. right? So maybe they go and they like your business page. Maybe they get on your newsletter list. Maybe they follow you in a group that you run. Maybe they join a meetup that you're in, right? But they're browsing, okay? They're like, it's like me walking into the furniture store that I talked about at the beginning of this talk, which is like, I was just wandering into a random furniture store. I didn't need any furniture, right? But I wanted to see what they had. It looked interesting enough. I wanted to see what it was about. I wanted to learn more about that store. I wanted to start understanding that store. That's what people are doing. The majority of people in your audience and in your world, that's where they are. But just because they're not ready to buy, right, doesn't mean that you should write them off. Because those people, as we said with Arena and Britt and all of their stories, will buy in the future. A good portion of them will buy in the future, right? But how and why? Because you adapt to meet them where they're at and start creating a relationship with them that you intentionally nurture over time, not because you're attached to that person actually buying, right, from you, but because you're just kind of taking people who have an interest and you're like leading them down this path to see that what you do is valuable and that what you do brings value to them, and even sometimes highlighting that they have a problem that they didn't know, right? Because here's the thing, right? About 90% of sales happen. I totally made that statistic up. I'm like 90%, and I'm like, where did I get that from? But that's not the right statistic, but it's high. It's like 90-95%, right? Like, it is high. The majority of purchases happen only after somebody has a clear and urgent need to make the purchase, okay? Do you understand that? Like a car, okay? Like maybe you have a car and it's old and it like kind of like has problems. So it was a little problem and it turned into a bigger problem and you're like, oh, I should buy a new car. I know this is something I should do, but you don't until it breaks down on the side of the road. And then they're like, look, it's going to cost you more to fix the car than it will to go buy a new car. So then you go buy a new car, right? Or I gave the example in the group about your hard drive. And like your computer blips and then it makes a noise and then all of a sudden a blue screen happens once or twice and then you go to turn it on one day and it doesn't because your hard drive crashed, so you have to go get help or you have to buy a whole new computer. How many of you have bought things only when, say yes, or say yes, me, type me, because you typed yes a lot, type me. How many of you have bought something only when that final urgent need was there for you to have to purchase it, right? You kept whatever, maybe it came into your head, maybe you kind of ignored, I call them the whispers, right? You kind of ignored all the signs or for whatever reason you didn't. But the minute that there's an urgent need, then you're out the door, right? Whether you have been thinking about it or not. Fine, I have to go buy it. I have to go buy it now. How many? Me, I shared that in my furniture story in the group, right? We then, right, that store that was so aggressive that we walked out of, the one thing it did was get us thinking, maybe we do need a new mattress. I don't know, that one seemed kind of nice. Maybe we need one. And so for 6 months, we researched a mattress. We did all of this due diligence, or reading articles and reading reviews and talking to people and whatever, right? And we still didn't go buy the freaking mattress, right? We still didn't freaking buy the mattress, even though we were talking about it for 6 whole months. Do you know when I bought the mattress? When I woke up in extreme pain. When I woke up in extreme pain with my shoulder hurting and my back hurting, and I was like in tears, and we were like, we can't do this again. We have to go buy a mattress, right? And so we went and bought the mattress. So most purchases happen only when there's an urgent need. And most of you just said, me, yep, me, that's what I did. I waited, right? I want you to keep in mind that your clients, customers, are doing the same thing, right? They're not going to purchase until there's an urgent need. Here's the reason why all of this that we talked about so far is important. If the very first time that they become aware of you, that very first time they become aware of you is when they already have that urgent need, it's too late. You're not going to get their business. right? So in that example about me and my back pain, right? If I had woken up in extreme back pain, right, and I drove past a mattress store, right? I'm not going into that mattress store if I've never heard of them before, right? Or maybe like I go to Google something, right? And like a mattress store pops up. Like if I already have the urgent need to go buy the thing, the service or the product, and I have not yet learned about you until I already have the urgent need, do you know why it's too late? Why it is that you most likely won't get that business? Anybody? I'm curious if anybody has an answer for that. Anybody at all? I'm just curious if you know why, right? Like by the time you have the urgent need, right? If the very first time you're hearing about a business is then, it's most likely you're not going to purchase from that business, right? And that's because you won't have any trust in that business. You don't know them. You don't like them. You don't trust them, right? You know nothing about them, but you need it now, right? When we have an urgent need, we need the thing now. But we're only going to really invest and buy from people we know, we like, and we trust, right? So if the first time someone's becoming aware of your business is right when they have that urgent need, they're not buying from you. They're going to go buy from somebody they know, like, and trust. But that's where the middle ground comes in, right? Because you're like, but Rita, you just said, right, that they're not going to buy until the urgent need. And then you just said when people usually become aware of a business, they have no need. So like, what's going on, right? That's that whole middle piece, right? So I'm going to give you an example. It's like a sneak peek for tomorrow's content, for tomorrow's post. Yeah, arenas will be, there's no chance to win their trust, right? There's not enough time. You're not going to get my trust. Like, you're not going to get me there when I'm already in pain and I need the thing now, right? So I'm not going to come to you. So the example from the post tomorrow is when I was an attorney, and I used to work with landlords, and landlords would always come to me when they needed somebody evicted from a rental property, right? 2 to 3 months had gone by without rent, and they needed this person evicted because they just could not afford to not receive rent, right, for however long. They just could not afford it anymore. When I would dig in, it turned out, right, that these issues had been around well before the missed rent. So maybe there was a late payment, and maybe there was another late payment, and then there was like an extremely late payment, and then there was one missed month, and the tenant was like, hey, look, I'm gonna make good on that. Just, I had a hard time and I need next month. And the landlord's a nice dude. Yeah, cool, great. But then the second month comes and no rent. And they're like, look, we need the rent. And now the tenant's gone silent, right? So then, right, so now there's an urgent need. I can't afford this anymore. So now I have no choice but to go hire Rita to evict this tenant, right? And what I would ask all of them is like, why, this lease is terrible. Where did you get this lease from? And they would be like, I found it on the internet, like just drafted it up, right? Like found it, drafted it. And I'm like, well, this is not a good lease for you to have. This is going to take a lot longer to evict the tenant. Why didn't you come to a lawyer to get your lease done from the beginning? And what do you think they all said? What do you think, like, everybody said when asked that question? They're like, well, because I didn't really need a lawyer for that, right? Didn't need one. There are templates online. I just got a cheap template and I just plugged in some stuff. Like, wasn't a big deal. I didn't need to pay for that, right? Like, I didn't need to pay for that. The only reason they were with me, right, was because they had a clear and urgent need that they needed to hire me for my services to help them take care of something, right? But they didn't come to me at the beginning for a lease because in their mind, they're like, those people we're talking about, right? They don't need you. They have no need for you, right? So really, right, the reason that those people that needed the eviction came to me was because they actually started researching their problem early on, right? They didn't wait to start learning about it until they had a clear and urgent need. At that very first missed payment, they Googled, what do I do if a tenant's late with payment? Like the very first late payment. They Googled, what do I do if the tenant is late with their payment, right? When the payment's a little longer late, then they Google a few more phrases, like what happens if my tenant misses rent? What is the eviction process in Virginia? Like, how do I get a client, or how do I get a tenant to start paying on time? Like, can I just do this on my own? How much notice do I have to give them? They're starting to research it because now they're starting to think it might be a possibility, right? But they're not 100% sure, and they still think that they can handle it on their own, which is why they're corresponding with the tenant, right? So when they started researching, the reason that they came to me when they had the urgent problem was because when they started researching, they were finding me because I had content out there answering those types of questions. I wasn't only putting out content about evict your tenant today, like take care of the house. Not that attorneys can ever advertise like this, guys, because they can't, right? But like, I wasn't putting out stuff like evict your tenant today, like live with freedom, and you're frustrated by your tenant and you're tired of not having any money and you're ready to get your tenant out today, hire me, right? Like, I wasn't only, like, again, no advertising like this actually happened. Lawyers advertising super different, but I'm doing this for illustration. I'm putting that out here, right? I was also putting out content that met the landlords where they were at the beginning, right? Which is like, I was putting out a blog about what do you do if a payment's 3 days late? Hey, what kind of letter can you send to your tenant to make sure future rent comes on time? What happens if a month's rent is missed, right? Like, what is the eviction proceedings like, right? I started putting all of that content. I was putting out that kind of content. So when they were searching for those things, they found me, right? And because it gave them value for where they were at, they weren't at an eviction yet, but it gave them value for where they were at. They started following me, right? They got on my newsletter. They started, well, not social media because lawyer stuff again is weird, but they got on my newsletter, or they started following me in some way. They would come to a workshop of my something, right? And they started just like removed, learning about me, watching my videos, listening to me talk, hearing me give advice, reading my newsletters, reading my columns in the paper, all of that kind of stuff, and really building up like trust with me as an expert in the world of landlord, tenant, investment property stuff, right? Still not thinking that they're ever going to need to hire me for an eviction, right? But because I'm helping them solve problems that they're experiencing now through my content, guess what happened when they had that problem? Guess what happened when they had that urgent, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get any money. I need a landlord, I need a lawyer to represent me as a landlord. They came to me, right? They came to me because they had found out about me earlier. That had I been treating my audience, right? Had I been treating my audience like they were all the same, just putting out the content about the eviction and like how to evict people, and like, I would have lost all of that business, right? Because they wouldn't have found, when they went to go search for the answer of like, how is it that I like collect rent when it's 5 days late? Do I get a late fee? Like, if I hadn't put the answers to those kinds of things out there, meeting those people where they were at, they would have found the answers somewhere else. And they would have followed those attorneys doing that thing and built up trust with them. And when they had that urgent pain point, right, then they would have hired those attorneys. Because again, the majority of people are coming to you way earlier than they know they need you, way earlier than they have a problem. They're not ready to buy. Only a small percentage, right, are finding you right around the time that they need to buy, but they're usually coming to you to buy because they already found out about you earlier. Does that make sense? Are you guys following me? So the question for you is like, what are you doing to meet people at that early stage, right? Now here's the thing, an even bigger example of the landlord thing is like, so then knowing that, right, I could actually meet them before they got into a lease. Right? If I know that a big problem is that landlords are spending a lot of money on evictions because they won't hire a lawyer for a lease, because they don't think they need a lawyer for a lease, right? Then I need to reach them before they sign the lease and have enough time to show them that they need a lawyer to draft that lease. Meaning I need to meet these people, right? Become aware, like they need to become aware of me when they're thinking, should I buy an investment property? Right? Is investment property right for me? Should I buy an investment property? Right? So if I'm then putting out content about, here are things to consider when buying an investment property. Here's kind of a list of like legal things that you're going to have to take care of once you buy an investment property, right? And like I'm meeting them that early, right? I'm meeting them at that point where they need an investment property and I'm helping them through that process. I can then take that and build a relationship with them that is giving them value and helping them through what they're going through right then, while also paving the way and showing them they need an attorney to draft that lease, right? They need an attorney to draft that lease. So then, right, because they will have built that trust in me, then they will come to me for the lease, right? And if anything goes wrong, I will be the attorney that they come to for the eviction because I drafted the lease, right? So that's what, when you're only putting out one type of content to one kind of person, if you're only doing what I'm calling marketing for the sale or marketing to the sale, if you're only doing that, right, then you're missing out on most business, because most people that are ready to buy, if they don't already know about you, they're not going to buy from you. They're going to buy from all of those people that have been putting out content about all of the earlier stuff, right? Building trust with them then, and then buying from those people. So the people who do buy from you when they have the urgent need in some way know about you. They've come across you before, they trusted you, they met you at a meeting, maybe they've been following you passively. Maybe they didn't, but they got a referral from somebody they really trust. And when we get referrals from people we trust, we kind of take on that level of trust and move it over to the other person. So they did have something, right? They weren't, most people aren't like, oh, I'm in pain, I need a nutritionist. I don't know why I came up with that, right? Oh, I'm in pain, I need a doctor, and I'm gonna go on Google while I'm in pain, and I'm gonna search on Google, I'm in pain, and there's a doctor, and I'm just like going to him. We usually go to our friends, like, does anybody know a doctor? Does anybody know whatever, right? Most people don't go, wow, I really need business coaching. My business is hurting, I really need to pay $7,000 for business coaching. So let me just go to the internet and type in business coach. Oh, here's a website. Oh, look, there's this person I don't know, but she's a business coach and her package is $7,000. I think I'll just buy it, right? Nobody does that, right? It's like you're not going to invest that much money with something that you've never interacted with before, that you have no trust in, that you just became aware of, right? So what they usually do, right, is like buy from somebody that they've already been following, because they didn't wait till the urgent problem to start learning about this subject and learning about what's happening. But that means I can't only talk about the eviction in the landlord example I gave. I have to talk about the things that are going on in their world at that early stage. So I ask that of you to really spend some time thinking your potential clients, right? Your audience, the people. It's like reverse engineer it. What is the thing that will cause that clear and urgent problem for them that makes them finally have to take action, right? That then would be something that they would hire you for. So what's that clear and urgent problem, right? But what did they ignore? What were they going through? What did they not do? What did they ignore and ignore and ignore, and I do, and I do, and I do, in order to then get to the urgent problem, right? Because those are the places that you need to meet them, somewhere down that line, either before they ever first have their first problem, before they ever take their first action, or right after they do, right? You need to meet them there, so that by the time they have this urgent problem, they already trust you, know you're credible, think you're an expert in this industry, in this field with what you do, and you're the one that they go to. Right? So that's what I mean by marketing to the sale, and treating your audience, right, as if they're all the same and you're just trying to get them to buy, right? Arena says, gosh, this is so eye-opening. Thank you. I'm only now realizing that the frustrating situation of having many people coming to me who are not ready to buy is actually good. Yes, because they came to me at the right and early stage, and you have a chance to build a relationship with them. Arena, you remember this bell. Arena was a photographer at our reset retreat, and like this was our bell. This is our bell from the retreat. Yes, right? Because here's the thing, all of those people in those earlier stages are all going to experience their urgent problem at a different time. Meaning you're going to be getting clients at a different time. Like that's the pipeline. That's what they mean when they say create and nurture relationships, right? And build your pipeline and keep that pipeline nurtured, and like so that people are falling into you at different times. And that's why you won't feel like you always have to go out and hustle for somebody new, right? Because you've got this whole like relationship with all these people that are being nurtured through your newsletter or through a group or through your Facebook page or through your meetup group or through however you're going to do it, right? Like you're doing, so as they have the urgent problem, they're coming to you. So it feels like, wow, people are just coming to me, right? But people aren't just coming to you. It's like they're coming to you because you have put in this work to build this relationship, right? So that's what I want you guys to see, because that's the thing, right, that so many people are neglecting. They feel like I have to meet people who are ready to buy right now. But if people are ready to buy right now and that's the first time they're meeting you, they're not coming to you because they started thinking about this at the first problem, the first whisper, the first time things went bad, and they started already researching other people, right? And so Rajika says, so bring value to them about where they are, right? Like I said, they're not in the landlord world, they're not in the business coaching world, right? In the business coaching world, they're not at how do I get consistent clients, right? How do I get consistent clients and consistent cash? They're not there yet. They're like, how do I get my first client, right? How do I just go get one? Like, can I just do that, right? Or like, how do I like use Twitter? Or how do I like, what's LinkedIn all about, right? And so like if I'm putting out content that answers these questions and bringing them in, right? Maybe the content is how they become aware of me, or maybe they become aware of me like they see me talk, and they don't think yet they need a business coach for, you know, all of this stuff, but they hear me speak somewhere. So they come here into the Women's Business Garden and I'm doing a challenge, like get your first client or like make your first whatever, or then they're engaging with me. They're learning from me. They're saying I can bring them value for where they're at, so that one day when they're like, oh my gosh, if I don't start making consistent money and get consistent clients, I can't keep this up. This is exhausting. I'm not making any more money. I'm going to lose money. I need to take care of this, or I'm going to have to go back to corporate America like in 2 months, right? And then they're going to hire me. Do you guys understand that? Yes. Is this like clear? Right? So Rajika says, how do you identify those early pain points? You have to know your market. This is where market research comes in, right? You have to know your market. You can talk to them and ask them, right? Ask people who already have gotten through it. Like in the landlord example, it would be great if I went to landlords that already had to evict tenants at some point and said, hey, what was the first indication that something was wrong? When was the first time you paid attention? What did you do after that, right? Like, did you go Google? Did you like go to a work? Like when you knew there was a problem, the first time you noticed it, what was your first step, right? And then what did you do after that? And then what did you do after that? What was it that you wanted to know? Or hey, when you were first thinking about buying investment property, what were your questions? After you bought your investment property, what were the biggest challenges and obstacles that you faced, right? Hey, like, did you get an attorney to draft a lease? Why or why not? Like, at what point did you know you needed an attorney to draft your lease, right? So I'm asking, they call those triggers, right? Like, they're triggers at different stages of what they call the buyer cycle. So like a purchaser, a buyer, a customer, the customer journey, a client map, whatever you want to call it, like they go through different stages. So here are the stages, right? First, they become aware that your business exists, okay? So they have to become aware of you. They have to learn that you exist. After they learn that you exist, they consider you. During the consideration stage, right, what they're doing is learning if they like you, learning about like you being a solution to a problem that they have. So what you're doing during the consideration phase is getting people to like you as a person, to understand that you have a solution to a problem that they have, right? And letting them see you're credible and letting them see that you're an expert. And once they have that, then they buy. Now, the consideration stage can be short for some people and it can be long for other people. It depends on how they become aware of you, right? Again, if I become aware of you because I saw you speak, then I've already started liking you and I've already started trusting you a little bit. And so my consideration stage may be shorter, right? If I become aware of you through a random article, my consideration stage may be longer. I might need to have to follow you and learn about you a little more and like learn about your results and learn about stuff like that, right? So, but there's an awareness, then there's a consideration, and then there's a purchase, right? And then you have two others. You deliver the service and then you get advocates. But we're not talking about that part. We're talking about the first three: awareness, consideration, and then a purchase. It's never just, oh, I just learned about you and I'm buying from you right now. There's always some kind of consideration, but that can be short or long dependent on how they found you, right? So here's a way that you kind of know that, Rajika. People who are early on in the buying stage, like they don't even know they have a problem yet, or maybe they kind of do, but they're not ready to buy a solution for it yet. Like they think they can handle it on their own, or they think they don't need it, or they think one day they're going to need it. There's not a clear, urgent problem yet. Those people are most likely to become aware of your business on social media, right? Through, like, again, seeing stuff people share, wandering into your group, seeing you post in another group, just coming across your path on social media, catching a Facebook Live, or from a presentation that you give somewhere, or from networking, right? So most of the people you meet networking, most of the people that come to see you talk, and most of the people who just find you on social media, they're going to be in those early stages, not yet ready to buy, maybe not even knowing they have a problem or that they'll have a problem that you solve. They need education from you. They're in the browsing stage. They need education that will show them who you are, what you stand for, what your business stands for, that shows that you understand them and their problems and what they're trying to achieve in their life, and that starts highlighting the ultimate problem they're going to experience, right? So maybe they want to head it off, or they'll know when that problem happens that they want to buy from you, right? Now, people who find you through Google, right? People who find you through Google, like people who are ready to purchase, people who are like close to or ready to purchase, they'll find you through Google, right? So they're closer to the end of the consideration stage, or they're already at the I need to buy, right? But we already know people who are ready to buy like that, like tomorrow. It's not going to be you if they're not already aware of you, right? But people who start researching because the whispers have happened, the problems have started happening, they've got signs, it's in their minds, they're not yet urgent enough to do anything about it. They're using Google to search their terms and their phrases for the information that they want, right? And then when they start thinking, gosh, maybe I'm going to need a lawyer, or maybe I'm going to need whatever, they might use review sites, right, and Yelp. So, like, where does Google lead people? To your website, to a blog, right? Where does like Yelp and all of that lead people, right? Like, those are the places that are going to attract people who are almost ready to buy, who are getting closer to ready to buy. So you need to meet those people where they're at there. If you try to start like addressing earlier problems there, they're going to get irritated because they're ready to buy, they're getting close to buying, and they don't want like to be nurtured for that long with all that other stuff, right? So you have to understand that people who are coming to you through Google and people that are coming to you through like, you know, basically Google, right? Finding your website, finding whatever, like they're searching in Google. Those people are getting closer to being ready to buy. Right now, they might not all be, like, they might be searching their earlier problems, right? But I mean, like, the people who schedule a call with you because they found you on, you know, through SEO of your website, they Google and they find your website and they click for a call, right? Instead of just reading your article, like, they're not wanting to be educated, they're wanting to buy. So, you know, you can start telling by the way people find you how likely they are and like where they are in this cycle, so that you can meet them where they're at. Okay, so that's like a little more technical, right? Like, that's a little more technical, right? So Rajika says, if they don't know you, how would they know about your workshop if they don't know you, right? How would they know about your workshop if you have not in some way come on their radar? So it could be a friend invites me to go along with her to your workshop, but I've become aware of you because my friend, and because my friend trusts you and wants to go, I'm going to inherit her trust and go, right? But like, and then maybe I came across an Eventbrite page that mentioned your workshop, right? And the workshop sounds cool, so I'm going to go, right? But the Eventbrite page is how I found you, right? So people can't go to a workshop if they don't know it is happening. And for them to know it's happening, they have to find out about it, right? So they have to become aware about it in some way to be able to go. So everybody will be aware, but they will be at the very, very, very beginning of the awareness stage, right? Meaning they have like zero know, like, and trust in you other than this thing that led them to an event. And so their consideration cycle is probably going to be a lot longer. They're probably not going to be ready to purchase yet, right? They're probably going to go ahead and get into, if they like your workshop, they'll follow you, they'll get on your newsletter list, they'll get to your community, and they're going to want to see that you understand where they are now and that you can help them with problems and issues now, give them value now, right? So that when they have this urgent thing in their life, this urgent moment, this urgent whatever, they're going to come to you and say, I need to have a call. I think I need you as my coach. Like, I think I need a coach. You might be the one, right? Because they've been following you this whole time. Is this making sense? Are you guys good with this? Like, yes, no, maybe so. You guys love it? Are you loving this? I hope so. Like, it can get a little like, it's a hard concept to grasp. Guys, I don't expect you to grasp this overnight, right? Like, this is what I help my clients do. I help my clients understand what content they're creating for what purpose. Like, every piece of content has a purpose, right? It's either to make somebody aware of you, right? So to make somebody aware of you, you have to create attention-grabbing content that will be shared, that will be whatever, that have the right keywords, that will come across people's radar so that they learn about you, right? And then, right, the content is after they learn about you, it can't be about the sale, right? It has to be all of this stuff we talked about that really builds a relationship and also shows them, right, the path to you, that shows them, like, plants the seed that, hey, this problem is coming up and you're going to need to take care of it, right? And then works them up, right, to the sale, while also putting out some content that is about the sale, because you are going to have people coming to you that are ready to buy or that are close to ready to buy. So you have to have all of that content, which is what I mean by you can't just put out one kind of content and treat your audience the same. You have to treat your audience like they're individual people at different stages of their life and different stages in the process of what they're going through, right? And you can't discount either or. And that's the problem I see with so many entrepreneurs that are struggling to get sales. They're either treating their audience like they're all ready to buy, so then they get frustrated and discount all of those people who seem so far away from being able to buy, and then wondering why they only have a few sales and wondering why it feels like a hustle to keep going out and getting new clients, right? Or they're doing the opposite. They're treating their audience like no one is ready to buy yet, right? So they're just giving really great value and really great information and like answering all these questions and doing all of these things, right? But never like connecting the dots to a sale. Never putting out promotional posts, never actually just saying, I sell this, this is a thing, you need it, buy it, right? Like, they've set the stage, but they never then open the curtains and start the show, right? So like that's what I help my clients do, is like create that content, because different kinds of content help in the different stages, right? So like, for example, and I even wrote this down so I don't miss any, right? Like, when people are in the consideration stage, right? Like, they're like, oh, I became aware of you. And it doesn't matter what point, right? Like in the consideration stage, but like early to mid, right? Not quite ready to buy. Here's the kind of content that's going to help you, right? Case studies of clients that you've had and customers that you've had, testimonials from other clients, right? Well-written copy the frequently asked questions or like blogs on all the different topics and challenges that these people might be going through, videos around those things, videos like this, guys, right? I mean, this is a challenge that a lot of you are having, but many of you may not yet be like, I should hire Rita, or, I mean, you should, right? But many of you aren't yet like, I should hire Rita, or I'm ready to hire Rita, or like, I think I could figure this out on my own, and that's fine, that's cool, right? But like, this is still valuable to you. You can go take this and do something now. And if ever, and I hope you don't ever experience it, but if ever there's just some urgent emotional point that you hit where you're like, this has to change. I need something to change, or I need more, or I need this new opportunity and I can't get it on my own and I need help. Hopefully it's going to be me you come to, because, right, I keep doing stuff like this, right? So case studies, testimonials, copy, frequently asked questions, blogs, videos, newsletters, interaction, all of that is consideration, but not all positioning a sale, right? Like sharing case studies, so that people see themselves in it. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't think I had that problem. But that girl in that testimonial, man, she sounds just like me. She started her business the same way, and I'm having the same problem she said early on. Oh my goodness, I could end up there. I don't want to end up there, so I think I need to hire Rita today. Right? Like, so that's what I mean, like all of that content. Irina says, what are signs that they've had enough time to consider us? So this is why you're putting out 2 different kinds of content at one time, right? So part of your content is all of that stuff that's educating and nurturing, right? And it's leading people through different interactions, right? So like people come into my group, and then people start engaging in my group, and then people start coming onto my Facebook Lives, and then people start participating in my Facebook Lives, and then I'll have a free class, and they'll sign up for the free class, and they're clicking on all the links in my newsletters, and then they click on more, and then I offer a program, and they click on it 18 times, and they never purchase it, and that's okay, right? And then like I offer something else, a very low cost program, and they click and they purchase it, and then they had a good experience with it, right? And then they participate in one of my challenges, and then they decide to get on the phone with me and have a call to talk about working with me, and then they hire me, right? Like you can just tell, because there's like increased engagement with you, there's increased interest, or right, because you're putting out posts that are also about have a call with me. If this is a challenge, like I'm going to say at the end of this, guys, if this is a challenge that you're having, if you're having difficulty if you're like, this makes so much sense and I'm not doing this, I'm literally only marketing to the sale and I'm letting all of this other business go because I don't know how to do that, right? Schedule a call with me. Right? Don't let the second half of the year go by and not have this fixed, right? Because those relationships that you start today can be the sales that happen by the end of the year, right? They can be sales before then, but those can also be the sales by the end of the year, right? So if you wait till the end of the year to address this, right, then guess what? You're not going to start like seeing the results until next year, right? And that's what I mean. It becomes a point where it's like, I can't wait anymore. What Rita said makes so much sense. I have to hire Rita. I need her 6-month private coaching package. Like I need her individual attention. We need to create my strategy. I need her helping me along the way, right? Like, so when you're putting out videos with calls to action to get on the phone with you, when you are putting out posts that say, get on the phone with me, have a discovery call with me, or a consultation with me, or whatever you call it, when you are putting out, click here and purchase this, sign up for this, buy my entry level, whatever, right? The people who have gotten ready to do that will do it, right? Because they will see themselves in it and they will be ready for it. And they will reach out and schedule a call with you, or they will buy your entry level thing, or they will sign up for or they will sign up, right? Like for your thing. But if you're only putting out that kind of content, then you're never going to nurture the relationship in that way. So in addition to like this kinds of stuff, you also have to be putting out other stuff that's just no promo, no what, like value, right? Calls to action to engage, calls to action to share, to build a relationship, right? But you have to have a mix, and that's what I mean. And then you have to know the right places to put the right things at the right points. And so in addition, for like coaches out there or service providers out there, one of the things I do with my clients is help you create your entire launch calendar, because one thing helps build the other thing, which helps build the other thing, right? So it's like if somebody does a free challenge of mine, and has a good experience and then goes to a free masterclass of mine and gets a lot of value, right? And then I have a group coaching program and they sign up for that and then they have real results, then they're most likely to hire me as a private coach, right? Or if they take information, so that's what I mean. That's a bigger thing, right? But that's what I help my clients do. So you guys, I wanted you to see this. I wanted you to understand it. I want you to understand the buyer cycle, that it's never just awareness and purchase. It's always awareness, consideration, and purchase. And it's really, really important that you create relationships with people as early as you can, before they ever even know that they're going to need you, before they ever even know that, like I said, with that landlord thing, right? I really needed to meet landlords when they were thinking about buying an investment property so I could position the lease. So I could, like, through the content and through my interactions with them and through whatever, they could then know by the time they're ready to sign a lease with a tenant that, like, they needed it done by an attorney, right? Or at least I needed to meet them right after they signed the lease, right? Which I was kind of doing, right? So that when they had tenant problems, they started learning from me and then they hired me. So that's what you guys have to do, right? So in tomorrow's post, tomorrow's Thursday, right? In tomorrow's post, there are going to be some questions to ask yourself to help you do that. I'm going to give 5 questions tomorrow that if you work through, you're going to start identifying what is that early stage? What are they thinking about in those early stages? It's going to help you kind of like jot all of this out so that you kind of see, I'm starting to get the picture. Okay, do you guys think that will be helpful? Because that's what I included in the post tomorrow. So hopefully catch the post tomorrow, comment on it when you see it, let me know if it was helpful. But hopefully this is helpful. Tell me your biggest takeaway from this, guys. Whoever's here, what is your biggest takeaway from this video? Or what are you gonna do differently? Or what was an aha? Or how many of you are gonna sign up for a call with me? Because I'm gonna put the link for the call here, right? But like, if you're serious, if you're like, I can't wait anymore, I need to get this on, I need a strategy, right? I need a strategy. I need to start taking care of this. This will fill a hole, this will fill a gap in my strategy, right? If I can create this kind of content and understand my buyer and understand the cycle, right? So maybe I need to hire Rita, like, let me know. And I will get you the link, and I'll put it in here later when we're done, to schedule a call with me, and we'll see if that, you know, if we're a right fit. We'll see if working together is the right next step, and then we'll go from there, right? We'll figure out how that's gonna look. But I wanna know what your takeaways were. Yes, it's awesome. Yeah, so the post for tomorrow is really gonna help you guys, and it'll help you map it out, right? Yeah. So that's what I want to say. Are there any questions about this? You guys getting the, I just want to make sure you get the concept, right? So Rajika said, bringing value to your target market. Yeah, and like nurturing the relationship, right? Like nurturing that relationship is so important. It's the way that you are in real life with people, right? It's not like I just come up to you at an event and I'm like, hey, Rajika, I know we just met, but I think you're my best friend. And I think you're going to be my best friend. And so that's happening. Okay, that's happening. You would be like, who is this lady? Like, she needs to get out of here, right? Like, but also if I'm just like, oh, look at Rajika, she seems kind of cool, right? But you don't pay any attention to me. You don't talk to me. You don't, because you're like, whatever, Rita's not ready to be my best friend. So I'm only here for like serious best friend friendships, right? So I'm gonna ignore Rita, right? Like, then I'm never gonna get to become your friend, right? But that's just not the way. Like, it's like, oh, I'm learning about Rashika. Oh, she's kind of cool. Oh, we're talking some more. Oh, now we're learning about each other more. And now we're going to the movie. And now we're best friends, right? But we treat our businesses so differently, but it's not different, right? Rita, I'm reconsidering my whole strategy is my biggest takeaway. Keep what works, right? Keep what works. Just identify the gaps and try to figure out where the gaps are. Ashley, I need to focus on putting out the right kinds of content. Ashley is on the schedule. Ashley has a call with me. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Ashley, I'm really looking forward to it. Cynthia says the steps were awareness, consideration, and then purchase, right? Yes, yes, yes. Because it's so easy to think people will become aware and purchase, but that's just not the way it works. It might only be a minute that they have to consider because of how they became aware of you, but it's always awareness, consideration, and then purchase. And it's by nurturing buyers at every stage of the buyer cycle that will make it feel like work is flowing in, clients are flowing in, right? That you're not always having to worry about where is the next client going to come from, right? It's like dating, right? It's like dating, right? It really is like everybody knows I used to be a dating coach. It's like I'm not rolling up to a guy and being like, hey, I think you're going to be my husband, right? Like I just learned about you, but let's get married. The guy's like, whoa, no, right? Also bye. But like when I become aware, I have to build a relationship, I have to nurture it, I have to get to know that person. They're probably not even ready for marriage yet. True story, my husband was not going to get married when he met me. When my husband met me, like when we first became aware of each other, he was like, I'm never getting married ever again. He had been married once before. He was like, not gonna happen, right? But whatever, we just got to know each other and we kind of liked each other more, and like we just kept getting, and then all of a sudden he's like, well, maybe I will be in a relationship, and maybe I will get married, and maybe I will, right? Like, and we got, if I had walked away from him because on the first date he's like, I don't want to get married, like I don't think this, like I would have never even brought that up, right? Like that's, I don't know, we just treat our businesses differently than we do human normal interactions. But if you can view this whole thing like you're interacting with people, because you're a person selling to a person, right? Even if you're technically a business selling to it, it's human to human. So we have to engage with our humans the same way we would engage with our humans outside of our business, right? So, oh, and Arena's already on the so guys, here's the thing. It's June, right? I have 3 client spots for private coaching left. So I do 6-month like packages, right? And so like people usually I have people at different times, like January to June and then July till the end of the year. So like this is the time where spots come open, and if people aren't renewing with me for the next 6 months, so I have 3 spots that came open to start in July. When those spots are filled, to my knowledge, I'm probably not going to have private coaching spots again until the end of the year. So I'm just putting that out there. So if you're really thinking about it, get on my calendar. We'll talk about it. I also have other things other than private coaching that could be a good fit for you as well. But let's just not let it happen anymore. This is where, I mean, I had a coach, right? Coaches have coaches, and we all know, but like these are the things, these are the nuggets, these are the pieces that can make such a big difference in our business. And I hope that today you're able to go out and start taking away just a little bit of this, right? Let's really focus on human to human. Let's focus on creating relationships, right? It doesn't mean we can't sell and that we can't be putting out our stuff and that we just have to meet people where they're at. And like Arena said earlier, Arena, I'm going to end on this because I thought it was the best thing that you said, which is like, I'm just realizing that what I thought was a struggle, that I kept meeting people who weren't close yet to being able to buy from me, was really a blessing, because I'm meeting all of these people that are going to become ready. So there's so much opportunity. What I thought was a challenge and a frustration was an opportunity. And that's the way I'm going to end it, guys. So thank you. Have a great day. I will see you here next Wednesday. All new topic, right? Stay tuned. And in the meantime, catch that post tomorrow. It goes live at 9. Catch the post in the group that has the questions to help you work through this. If you have any questions or if you're watching on replay, please comment. Let me know. I'm going to be checking comments. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.